magic is going to happen. All right.
So for girls.
For girls, Kobe, who is your first one?
We're going to go off with the winner, Tia Toomey.
I mean, I don't even know if we really need to talk about this one.
You can't bet against her.
Tia Claire Toomey, for sure. I mean, if you've done a CrossFit workout, you know everything about Tia Claire Toomey. So I don't even think we need to talk about her. She's just head, shoulders, knees, and above.
She's just stronger than everyone, and even if someone's like comparable with her, with like holding her capacity or sprinting a little bit faster than her just pure strength over the rest of the field, they can't hang.
No, they can't hang. It's like her background is a sprinter, so she wins all those events. She's also like the strongest one in the whole women. Yet she's like she's not like a heavy girl in any way. Yet she like wins the strength events. Her capacity, her gymnastic capacity, is just unbelievable. Yeah. So yeah, I mean,
I think that's a set it and forget it. At second place, I got Mal O'Brien coming in at the 2, and I have this being also the last year where it could be the passing of the torch for Tia to drop it off to Mal next year.
I like it.
So, I mean, So
you're saying this might be like a little like Matt Frazier when he was second place behind Rich. The whole idea there.
It could.
It didn't pan out like Matt Frazier wanted to win next year. Ben Smith won. But still,
similar.
You think this could be
similar passing where it's like, all right, it's coming soon to where Mal's going to be taking over. But Tia still got it this year, and then Mal working with Frazier. I mean, you can't get worse when you spend an entire offseason working with one of the best to ever do it.
Right. I mean, it's pretty hard to go against her here. She's a stud. She's a stud. So with that being said, my second is also Mal O'Brien. It's tough. I mean, it's hard when you just have the same picks, but at the same time, like, they're the best. So how can, like, he went to the best semifinal, crushed it. There was, like, everyone was afraid of the Granite Games. Mal O'Brien walked in and won 4 of the events, I think. The only 2 events she didn't win was, like, the strength and then the legless rope climb one at the end. But the legless rope climb at the end, like, she didn't need to burn it down because she was, like, had it all done. So I know that she took a little bit slower because you miss a rope climb, you're, like, detrimental to your score. So I think that if, like, she was competing real time, she might win that event, too.
Yeah. So third is where it gets a little bit iffy because I think that the women's field is a lot more even once you get out those 1 or 2 spots, those top 2. Very even from like 3 all the way down to like 12, where all of these athletes could finish in any of those spots, and it really wouldn't be that surprising. But at third, I ended up going with Laura Horvath.
Oh, that's a great pick. Everyone forgets about her. It's so crazy how you just forget about her. You're like, she's almost like the Travis Mayer of the.
She just sticks around.
The women's side. She's so solid. Like, so
she's not going to be flashy. She's not going to be loud, but she's just going to do well in all of the workouts. And that goes back to the consistency.
She's so powerful. Her gymnastic capacity is, like, incredible. Like, you don't even think about it, but she just, like, can climb like no other. She does so well with all that stuff. She's super strong, super powerful. As long as, like, and that's also, like, she seems like more of a game style athlete because of, like, how powerful she is. All of the odd object that happens in the CrossFit Games, like, she just rocks it. So that's a great pick. My number 3, Haley Adams. This is the year she breaks into the podium. And here's my reason why. A is because we both follow Mayhem Programming, so I am going to homer this for sure and want our girl to go be third for sure because she's awesome. And also, she just, like, she's been competing for so long. she's getting so good at this stuff. She's getting more and more. She's getting more and more well-rounded. She's getting stronger. She's doing all that stuff. And yeah, it's time. It's time for her to break the podium and be on there. And
yeah, I'm with that. Something. I had her right outside at 4 if I had to rank 4. I just don't know if talking with the Vellner aspect, if there's going to be that one strength piece, that one clean ladder that's too heavy and crushes her. Or if this year is all right, she's going to get deeper into that ladder and it's not going to affect her as much. Because if she can do that.
Right. You think back to like way back when Sam Briggs won it, way back in like 2012 or 2013. Like, obviously, her strength was the issue. Huge. But she was able to not only, like, overcome a bad strength event, she won the whole CrossFit Games in, like, 2012 or 2013, whenever she won it. So, it's possible. If it's the right event where it's, like, the strength is, like, more mixed in with, like, a Metcon-y type workout where it's not just, like, hey, do a 1-rep max deadlift. Like, she's going to be okay. She might. I don't know.
Very well.
All right. So we should probably start talking about our stretching idea now because we kind of got off on there. Yes. That's okay. I like talking about that stuff. So let's start talking about stretching.
Stretching. One dude that you possibly may have heard of, Randy Moss, went on the record to say that and I think the exact quote was, 84 doesn't stretch before games. He said that he does not stretch. So.
And he's arguably like the best NFL player of all time. Like, and no one can be like, oh, no, he might be like, you ever watched like the Tom Brady like special where he talks about Randy was on his team? He was just like, I think he said there's like wide receiver fast, defensive back fast, and then
Randy Moss was different. Fast. He was just a different breed. So when that came out, he said that a lot of stirring, especially in the medical field, we're like, all right, hey, we got this top tier athlete saying he does not do any type of stretching, dynamic or static, otherwise. No stretching done for him.
And he's not. He didn't have a history of injury. He was the fastest dude in the league probably for a while.
So that quote, among other things, got people to look into what does this whole stretching thing have to do with my performance, and is it going to be helpful? Is it not going to be helpful? And that kind of drove the big thing of dynamic stretching before and static stretching after. So dynamic stretching is stretching when we're moving. We're not staying in one spot while we're stretching. We are going through our range of motion at a relatively quick pace, and we're just not going to get to the bottom of a stretch, have our hamstrings feel like they're nice stretched out, and just hang out there. That's more static stretching when we get ourselves into a position and then we just hang out there.
Yeah, think of like 1979 football before the game. They start, they get in their big lines. They got their legs spread out, all that stuff. I bet Dad was the king of that stuff. I'm sure he led his
team into that.
Yep.
So.
Yep. So what do you think? Do you think that's true? Like, yeah, sure, the studies say that, but what do you think?
That if Randy Moss stretched or not?
No. Like, do you think that's the best way to go? Dynamic before and then static
I think
after?
It is. So, if we're talking strictly before, there was actually one study that looked into a control group of no stretching at all before they worked out, dynamic stretching before they worked out, and static stretching before they worked out. And the group that had the most or the least amount of injuries and the best performance in the exercise, in the workout, was the dynamic stretching, followed very shortly, like very small numbers, by the group that did not stretch at all. And then way down the list was the static stretching before. So if you don't have time to do a dynamic stretch, you are better off of just not stretching and jumping right into the workout.
That's got to make a lot of those people that are always like 10 minutes late to class.
Yeah.
They got to be
They're
just
like,
loving
you know,
that you just said that, because they're like, man, I've been telling everybody,
why
why
I
you
do
skip
it.
the warm up?
Yeah.
Just go right to the workout. That's right. Yeah, I personally agree with that too. I think this was also a really funny quote that I heard from the football coach at Northview, Ryan Oshnock. We're like getting ready, it's he's at the helm. We're about to start fall camp, and he's kind of running through what he wants for the position groups. And he says, all I'm going to say is we're not stretching before practice. And everyone's like, okay, whatever. And then he goes, from what I've understood, he said, from my past experience, all I know is when we stopped stretching before practice, we stopped getting hurt. And he was like, I'm not going to start stretching anymore, because he's been a coach for a long time. Like, I think he's been coaching. I think he said something like 18 years, maybe ish, somewhere. Like he's been all over the map, and he's been like the head coach sometimes, assistant coach. But he's like, the team that I was on that stretched before practice got hurt. The teams that didn't stretch don't get hurt. So we didn't even go and like get in the line and do dynamic stretches. Like literally, whistle blew, we went into our little groups, and I think that we did like, he wanted us to do like a jog, high knees, butt kick, and then like start doing practice. So like there was literally like no
the science backs him up a little bit.
I know. So I don't know. That's his theory, and I think that I agree with that. I know that my warm-ups are usually really short, nothing that's really big into it. I like hop onto a machine. Like if I'm doing legs first, I hop on the bike erg, and I do the bike erg for like 2-3 minutes, and then I like do my little activation for my hip, like the hip halo monster walk stuff, and then the banded sevens, and then I do a little bit of like this more like rolling on the ground type deal that I've been picking up from Seth, my kind of guy that I've been going to in Grand Rapids at Paradigm Fitness, and he's been kind of doing this like whole idea where we're rolling more on the ground and loosening up our body that way, almost like a baby in a sense. It's very interesting. I'm not 100% like understanding everything that he has us do, but like a lot of like Turkish get ups, a lot of like Czech get ups, like that whole idea of like opening up the whole body by rolling and standing and getting back on the ground and rolling on our muscles and feeling different things that way. But yeah, like I'm done warming up in like
and that's totally it. Then a little bit of like a nerdy tangent to go into the static stretching. When you do a static stretch, you're holding it for at least 30 seconds, and what you're doing, like you're telling your muscles to relax and get into this more uncomfortable type position, into like stretching your hamstring, stretching your quads, whatever. You're telling your body to relax to allow you to get into that situation, to allow you to get into that position. So if you're doing a static stretch before you go work out, you just got done telling your body to relax, and now you're going to say, all right, we're going full go at a quick 5-minute time cap Metcon, and your body just needs to flip a switch and go all out after it just got told to relax. So I think that's where you see those injuries, where your body is not prepared for it. You think that you're stretching, all right, hey, I'm getting my body like awake. I'm saying like, all right, let's look at these muscles, let's get these ready. But really, you're just getting it to relax now. So